Higuain penalty.
It's a penalty.
What a joke.
Yo, if you don't see that that's a penalty, you don't have
From where?
eyes.
50 yards away from behind?
Your eyes, you have good eyes, man. It shows you
I can
4
die
replays.
perfect. The same back replay. It wasn't even a good one.
Everyone over here saw the replay and says, Peter.
Peter didn't see the replay. He just said if he made contact.
I said if he makes contact.
See, we don't know if.
You know what? I'm getting now. I'm getting fit.
Messa fuori, c'è Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tacco, tiro,
The referee should never have given the second, the straight red. Roma is missing the wing that they had last year.
Well,
Salah. If you don't beat Crotone like this, it's mental.
Wow.
I don't know who he is.
He looks like Nainggolan.
Oh my
He does not look like Nainggolan. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. As you guys could tell, we've got a new guest over here. Antonio is still in San Diego. I forgot about that dog I was supposed to take care of. But anyway,
we've been actually listening to you guys. You guys kept saying there's no Inter fans in here. There's no Inter fans.
True.
And we want to introduce you to Peter over here. He is an Interista, so no more comments about that. And he really loves Inter.
Peter, say what's up.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Forza Inter. From my grandfather all the way down to me, we're all Inter fans.
There we go.
I'll try not to be biased, but I see things in black and blue.
Okay.
Listen, it's fair, but you see things logically too.
Yes.
Listen, at the end of the day, my grandpa will be happy because he's an Inter fan. we're all different. Everybody's different. We all like different teams. Anyway, Dad, how you doing? No suit today again. Everybody's gonna be upset.
What's going on?
It's my day off.
Man. All right, guys. Listen, we had a crazy weekend of the Serie A. Once again, as we've been saying for I don't know how many months, you could keep replaying all the videos that we had, that the Serie A is the most and only exciting league. We got Manchester City who's going to wrap up the league next week. Bayern Munich wrapped it up since the season started in August. PSG, they don't even play in a league. And Barcelona is like 30 points ahead.
Yeah.
And today, what happened was just incredible. Incredible. I know Michael was pissed off. He was texting me how upset he was, but then he got happy all of a sudden, right, Mike?
True. I didn't think Napoli were going to pull it off, but it really looks like they won that Scudetto, and I don't know, in Torino, that game's going to be amazing.
Guys, where we want to start off with today? Where you want to start?
Well, let me say something because I agree with you about this, the championship, about the Italian championship. I mean, in about 4 minutes, the championship was over, and in 4 minutes it came back again. So we still, and I was happy for it, even though I said that Campionato is over. I was happy for it because this is what you want. You want it to go until the end, until the last day. So we have a championship still going. We have a Champions League still to go. We still don't know. We have the Europe League that we still don't know, and we have the a few teams that are relegated that we still don't know.
That's true.
So everywhere you look in the standings, everybody's fighting for a game, and the games are becoming more and more difficult as you get closer to the end. You can find a Benevento, and you can find a Verona. Verona, we thought it was, it was out of it at all, and today, they did a good performance.
Yeah. Peter, we've been having debate on the podcast, and my dad and Antonio have been Campionato's done, that the league is done. It's been like this for a few weeks, and Michael still thinks that Napoli's going to win the league. I think Juventus is going to win the league, but what I've been saying is that it's going to go up and down. I think we got a long way to go. Where do you take on this? Is the Campionato over?
I think for every Serie A fan, we want the Campionato still to be on, I hope as an Inter fan that Napoli has a chance to jump them, but Juventus is just too good. But there is a chance that Juventus can slip up. Yeah. They have to versus Inter in San Siro.
That's the easy one.
And
I'm messing around.
We'll see. and Juventus has to versus Napoli, even though they're playing in Torino.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Napoli has a possibility. It all depends, but if they're able to play well. Because in the past couple of games, they look like a different Napoli team.
So
it's not fluid anymore.
Yeah.
It's very, they look nervous. And we saw it even today. Even though they were able to get the win.
93rd minute. Took them 93 minutes to get the winner.
It was
tough.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, Napoli were losing the match until the 88th minute. It was 1-0 to Chievo Verona. Sarri, who was getting criticized, guys, on social media. People were saying Sarri out. There was people going crazy on Sarri. You lost us the season in a few weeks. You kicked us out of the Campionato. You did this. You did this. The Napoli fans were screaming. Insigne even screamed back at some of them. They were already like that the league was lost. And everyone thought the league was lost. 89th minute, Milik scores. 93rd minute, Diawara in his first Serie A goal. Scored one of what could be the most important goal in their history of Napoli. It could end up being. So as a Juve fan, obviously when Chievo Verona was up 1-0, I see Giaccherini, I think is the one who had the assist. I was happy. I got to be honest, I was happy. And I had my graphics ready, I had stuff ready. I said, they're done. I said, the season's over. The Campionato's over. And as experienced as I am watching the Serie A, I still haven't learned that it's not over until it's over. And as happy as I was when I thought that Juventus had already won it, I will admit that I'm very, very happy that it did happen at the end of the day, because we still have a talking point. It's going to give people who are done watching Premier League or know those leagues are over, give a chance to watch the Serie A, which is going to go down to probably the last day.
Mike, before I make a technical comment, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
Were you happy when Giaccherini gave the ball?
Okay.
They passed the ball and they scored the goal. Giaccherini was celebrating. Did that upset you?
He was at Greek Easter. But
I knew what happened.
Happy Greek Easter.
Thank you, guys.
Happy Greek Easter, Mike.
To be honest, when Giaccherini, I didn't think he played a full game at Napoli. He was there. He was mad at Sarri. He got criticized. So I don't even think it was even a decent spell that he was there. He wasn't happy at all.
So now it's okay to celebrate.
So this is slightly different, just cause
he's blurring the lines.
I think he's right,
Right?
because
Peter,
that's
help me
how he
out.
left
We're busting
off
his
with
chops.
the team.
We're busting his chops because we had this argument before of people who had bad relationship,
blood,
and he said that they shouldn't be celebrating when it was Juventus, but now he's going back on it.
I forgot the instant though that there was someone there, and I was like, why should he be celebrating? And there was a very good example.
Listen, if you're booed the whole game, shouldn't you celebrate?
Look at Icardi, right? When he plays Sampdoria, he scores.
They gave him a standing ovation
boatload
too
of
when he
goals.
left.
Yeah, but he scores a boatload of
true.
goals and he celebrates. Let me tell you, because
Gaetano,
the
you were
way he
saving
left
that one,
off.
right? You were
You
saving
had that one
to
ready.
say, right?
Yeah. Because I don't know if he's going to be criticized because he's
hated
the
his
one
time
that
at Napoli,
intercepted
though.
the ball, is the guy that gave the assist. He celebrated.
You know he was happy.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
like, Sonny,
And
you
see what else
didn't
when
even call me
celebrate?
up.
Napoli come back and score a 93rd minute winner.
Yeah, but what about Napoli was giving up?
I don't know. To be honest, I got mad. I was screaming when I saw 1-0. I was like, "You kidding? They threw away the Scudetto there," and I was mad.
But they had the chances. Sorrentino came up huge this game.
39 years old. That's his third penalty save of the season. One against Belotti, one against Kessia, and now against Mertens. 39 years old. Incredible that he's still saving at a top level.
Buffon, right?
I think he's got... Why you got to throw that? Listen, he's got one of the most, I think, penalty saves in the Serie A as a career. So respect to Sorrentino, who always pulls it off. And I think this season has been incredible for him. But yeah, I think that this is one of those games, like we said, that everyone's writing off. You and Antonio keep writing off, saying the Campionato's done. But they're going to be Spal Juve, 0-0, ties. Like, these kind of games are going to happen in the Serie A, especially with a team like Chievo Verona, who, let me remind you, the bottom 5 teams in Italy, there's only 4 points separating them. Bottom 6 teams, 4 points separating them. And if you extend it to Sassuolo, there's 5 points separating them. So they're all scrambling for these points. Who knows where they're going to pick up? Today, we were talking before, because Michael and I, we worked to get graphics ready. And we're like, come on, can Sassuolo pull something against Milan? And you never know. Like, before the game, you would say, no, come on, Milan under Gattuso. They got this opportunity where your Inter didn't pick up the points. Milan want to go for a Champions League. And then Sassuolo somehow, So it's so hard to call. It's like impossible, no?
It is. No, it's true. It's going down to the last game. There's just even Europe, Champions League, Europa League, the Scudetto, the relegation. There's just so many battles that's so fun to watch. And Serie A has definitely been the most competitive this season compared to the rest of the leagues.
Before we get deep into some of the games and analysis, let's go to Inter first. Today, this morning, I know you, Peter, you told me, I woke up 6:30 in the morning to watch my Inter. 1-0 against Torino, where Torino didn't even mean to, they did mean to score the goal, but the whole play wasn't meant to be a goal. Peter, what'd you think? We'll start off with you.
Man, I was upset. You're aiming for a Champions League spot. This is your chance. Roma loses. You have to win this game. You have to win this game. I think Di Biagio said, he said, win versus Torino, and then next week versus Atalanta. Champions League is yours. And I really felt that we had this game in our hands. We just weren't able to score the goals to have the breakthrough. Torino came back on that counterattack. If you saw the goal, it was pathetic to say the least. It was off some type of scramble. The guy kicks the ball, and they score. And then, hats off to Sirigu. The guy made some nice saves off of Icardi, Candreva. We hit the post a couple of times, and we just didn't have the luck. But these are the games that, when Mourinho was there, Inter won. These are games when, of course, the players are different.
I wish Antonio was here. He hates Mourinho. Antonio has a hatred for Mourinho and Spalletti.
Come on, Mourinho, you can say what you want. He's top. He's a top coach.
We agree.
He's a top coach. He's also a psychologist more than anything else. He knows how to motivate his players.
100%.
The only thing is, after 2 years, it kind of goes down. I don't know, because maybe they said in Italy,
too much.
Exactly. He takes every last bit, and that's it. But going back to the Inter of today of Spalletti, it's just it's frustrating. Then also a lot of people were questioning the lineup. Rafinha, who arguably was Inter's better player.
Yeah, why didn't he start Rafinha?
I based on news articles I followed, different apps, they said he's not ready to play 90 minutes consecutively, and the fact that they played 2 games already this week versus Milan,
they want to give him a little rest, right?
Give him a little rest, and
he put Borja Valero in place for anyone that didn't know.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Borja Valero, I think, is a great player. He's just he's a little bit he's old. He can't play in that trequartista role and not have speed.
This is what we've been saying. What were you going to say? I know you're a big fan of Rafinha.
No. I didn't understand why. I mean, you start with your best players, and then if he cannot finish the game, then then you take him out. But the guy who is to me is the one that makes the difference, because he can give the last pass, and it's something that we spoke about it before. Barca Valero, he's a nice, decent, clean player, but he does not have that last pass.
Rafinha does.
Yeah.
To me.
Oh, Rafinha is that spark. He has the ball in his feet, and you don't know what he can do with it. And like you said, he can make the beautiful pass. He could take a shot. He's got great dribbling technique. It's a different player. It's a different player.
But at the end of the day, I think that one thing that I was a little bit annoyed at, I'm not taking anything away from Inter, who had a million chances, and Spalletti said even if we had a cannon, we wouldn't have been able to score. And I know you're going to comment on Sirigu on what you said about him. But before that, I think Torino, while they didn't mean to really score that goal, they got one opportunity. They did have chances too. To respect Torino, they had a few opportunities where, to me, if you're stopping everything like this, yes, they're playing defensive, but also, what's Torino supposed to do? If you can't score in 90 minutes against this Torino who's sitting back so much, to me, almost Torino deserve it too.
For sure, but I don't think Inter deserve to lose. Maybe a tie.
Well,
you deserve what happened.
But if you can't put the ball in the back of the net, you had so many chances. Well, you can't feel sorry for Inter. They should have buried that game. That was their game, and they lost it. It's all because of them. They shot themselves in the
And then also today, I mean, Icardi was missing half the game. Perisic also didn't have a great game, even though he hit the post.
Perisic and Icardi don't score for Inter.
It's so hard. Yeah, who's gonna exactly?
Candreva shoots from a million directions.
Well, I'm not sure. Candreva, I don't think has a goal this Serie A season.
Yeah, he has a lot of assists, but
he hasn't scored.
He hasn't scored.
But he shoots from anywhere, which is a good thing, but also not a good thing. To me, I feel like if Perisic and Icardi are off, Inter are off. This game, if we're talking about this game, in the first half of the season, where the way this went, it was always Inter having this kind of game, but then they would get a 1-0 result.
Yeah.
And this now in the season, that little reverse of Milan and Inter, it seems like they can't get these results. Even after the game, Spalletti, I don't know if you guys saw with Mazzari what he did with the handshake.
I didn't get that, but what was that for?
So he explained it. He grabbed his hand like this. Look, give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand, Dad. What are you doing? Like that.
I don't know what I'm doing.
We're ready to go. He grabbed his hand and he went like this. Everybody got freaked out.
Yeah, I was like, what's
I
going
saw
on?
it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, but what does it mean?
So he says Mazzari is such a scared guy.
Oh,
he goes every time he's so timid. He goes, he beat me and he's still scared. He goes, you win, you don't have to be scared. He goes, shake my hand. That's what he said. And then you see
that was Spalletti that said that.
Spalletti said
Wow.
it. Mazzari was laughing on all the. You didn't see the angle, but there's another angle of Mazzari laughing.
Spalletti was not letting go of his hand. He was mad.
I don't know. I would be scared if someone's shaking my hand like that, grinning. It's like, I thought he was gonna kill me or something.
He wouldn't let go. He was
It's like one of those awkward handshakes.
Yeah,
you know?
like we just had almost right here.
Yeah.
We're all going for it.
Let me ask an Interista, that goal that Brozovic scored, was that a goal or no?
Which goal, bros?
Which one?
Brozovic scored a goal.
This game.
What are you talking about?
There was
When
there was
they called a foul?
yeah, when the
Oh.
Barca Valaro got fouled and the ball stopped. So he took a shot and it was a goal.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
For advantage purposes, yes. But if the referee makes the call, you have to respect the referee's decision.
yeah, no, it was a foul.
Yeah.
But
So
he's saying
But
why
he takes
didn't-
the shot right away. I understand.
So
But
the
if-
ball was dead,
Mhm.
and you don't have to wait for the referee
Yeah,
to
you could
start
take
the
a shot.
game. So why wasn't it a goal?
We were talking about this before actually,
Well,
and you see, Sirigu stopped. He didn't
The
go.
thing is, though, everyone
But-
stopped.
I'll tell
All-
you,
all the
I'll
players
tell you
stopped.
from
Go.
the referee
Go.
perspective, because I heard the comments afterwards. You could take a shot without the referee starting the game, but it is at the discretion of the referee to start the game. So if you have a player who's on the ground and is
Yeah,
hurt,
That's
the referee he has to decide to start the game because there's somebody on the ground.
Yeah.
So he attended to the player that was hurt, and then it's at the discretion of the referee. That's why some people thought it was a goal,
yeah.
but they explain that it's up to the discretion of the referee to start the game.
Yeah.
That's why it was not a goal.
Any last comments on Inter? Anything to add? You feel optimistic still for Champions League?
Listen, we're still there. It's 1 point.
And Milan screwing up
Roma has
today.
to versus Lazio.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a dogfight.
So we're there. It's the only thing is you have to win these games.
100%. Speaking about Roma, the next game I want to go to is Fiorentina-Roma. Your Roma lost 2-0 to Fiorentina. And let me tell you, Fiorentina's last 6 games. 1-0 over Chievo, 1-0 over Benevento, 2-1 over Torino, 2-0 over Crotone, 2-1 over Torino, 2-0 over Crotone, 2-0 over Udinese, and now 2-0 over Roma. 6 straight wins in a row. It ties a 58-year-long record for Fiorentina as a club. Pretty incredible, to say the least, for Pioli's men. What they've gone through and the way that they've stuck as a team to stick together and really fight
doing
through all
incredible
of their
stuff.
challenges.
Yeah.
I give so much respect to Pioli as a coach, and I think... I mean, what do you guys think about the match, first of all? Mike?
No, I thought to be
Was
honest,
your Manolas at fault?
maybe a little bit, but I feel like they're getting a little mad. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Roma's not playing good," but they're getting ready for that Barcelona comeback. Di Francesco's not worried about the Serie A. He's thinking about going to the Champions League final. But yeah, to be honest though, Fiorentina actually played good, and Roma started playing good, but towards at the end of the match, and Fiorentina was too strong. They were playing as a unit. Defensively, they parked the bus after they got the 2 goals because they were good. They weren't looking for a third, and they just grinded it out. They scored a goal. Dzeko scored a goal too. She hit the post. Roma were a little unlucky, but Fiorentina got the points at the end of the day, and they deserved it, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dzeko didn't score. I mean, Dzeko, the problem is that everybody go crazy online. Just like when Napoli was losing, everybody loses their mind. Dzeko, they're not scoring. Roma's not scoring. Roma's not scoring. They hit the post with Sheik, who Sheik's still playing on the right side. He's playing on right wing for Roma. Again, the ball wouldn't go in the back of the net. No?
Well, I read that at the end of the game they were chanting the name of Astori.
Yeah,
The Fiorentina fans.
The Fiorentina fans. So, I mean, right now, Fiorentina, the 6 games that you say, they're such emotionally powerful, such mentally, they're so mentally tough. And, I mean, it's, you could see when when mentally you put everything that you have, what you can accomplish.
Yeah, they're fighting for something, 100%.
Right.
Great point. So 100% record since...
Right.
I mean, they've all said that they feel something, that it feels like someone is guiding them through. And but yeah, what do you think, Peter?
No, for sure. Fiorentina's been on a high ride. I was lucky enough. Well, I don't want to say lucky because the whole death of the story. I went to the game, Fiorentina Benevento, the first game that they played without Astori, and it was a surreal moment because the players walk in and it's dead silent. You can see that the players really loved Astori. Besides as a player, as a captain, as a person, and like Gaetano said, they're playing for him.
Yeah.
and they're giving everything.
There was the game when they stopped at I think the 13th minute. They
and
stopped.
yes,
And Ugo scored.
yeah,
The
Yeah,
replacement.
the
for him.
replacement. For
and then also
Astori.
at the end of the game, all the Fiorentina players just collapsed.
Really?
You know, they emotionally they gave everything that game,
Wow.
and they've given it since. Roma definitely had some chances at the end. You know, soccer sometimes the game score doesn't always reflect how the game was played.
Exactly.
So it's different from other sports. Usually when a team dominates, you see the results. In soccer, it's not always that way. Roma had chances. Fiorentina was able to finish their chances, and they defended well. Sportiello made some crazy saves. They hit the post.
Yeah.
But all in all, Fiorentina right now is flying high. They're trying to push maybe for Europa League. So we'll see.
And Roma also have a lot of things on their mind at the moment. They had that game against Barcelona where, like you said, the scoreline could be a liar. Because if anyone who saw that match know that Roma were fighting like crazy and the refereeing mistake and all this and that, they have that game, then they have this. Now they're going to have to go and play Barcelona again. So, like Michael said, and the first thing that Michael said when they were going down is like Di Francesco's thinking about, Barcelona. And, I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into football, into the aspect of the players and how they play. To me, the ball would not go in. I find it's very frustrating for me, who's a fan of Sheik, to constantly see him on that right wing. I don't think that his best attributes are given in the right side. I want him see in the striker role. But Di Francesco, on the other hand, yes, he's tied in third place, right? It's tied in third place. Roma fans are freaking out a little bit. They're getting a little bit nervous. But Di Francesco has had still a very solid season. I think that they could be doing a little bit better considering that the team that they have in the league. But listen, we knew since the start that it was going to be between Juventus and Napoli. They got to keep that third place. And they're also fighting on a second front, which is the Champions League, which is a beast.
Well, it's tough for Rome. You got to think about it. They got a few players that left. Di Francesco, first year as a coach, they're doing well in the Champions League. So
True.
And they don't have the most packed squad like Juve. So I think if they do secure third or fourth place, if they stay Champions League, I think it's a success for Roma. Just because there's so many new things going around, there's so many new changes.
No, for sure. I think the loss of Salah really makes a
look what he's
difference.
doing
And
now.
But not even that. I would say Nainggolan. Last year,
Completely different player.
I mean, he scored.
Not completely.
I think
not
probably.
completely.
Because
I think
his
so.
role was different.
Yeah.
When he played under Spalletti, he was closer to the goal.
He was
Yeah.
the heart of
He
the
was
whole team.
Not
last
completely
season.
different.
I think
Come
he was
on.
completely.
He's with Di Francesco. He pulled him away from the goal a little bit, and he doesn't have that free range to take shots. And I don't know, the ball just not going in for him. The only thing is, I would ask you with Sheik. So, if you want him to play as a center forward, are you taking out Dzeko or are you playing him with him?
No, I would first of all try it. I would try without Dzeko, but I think that there were a lot of games this season where I would have liked to see Sheik get a little bit of confidence in some of the smaller games, some of the games where Dzeko can't play every single game. I mean, Dzeko keeps getting criticized. What does he have? 14 goals in the league, 13 goals in the league, something like that. So, I mean, take a little pressure off of both of them and put Sheik in. It's so hard for Sheik. He's playing out of position. He's got all this pressure of being at Roma. He can't show his best. Last year, he was on top of the world. We were with him last year. Literally a year from today, he scored the goal that blew him up, and he thought this season. So it's a hard moment. And I don't know. For me, I'm just a little bit frustrated in that sense.
Probably the 4-4-2 would be better for him to have two guys up on top inside the area.
It might be a little tough since the confidence we're talking about. He hasn't scored yet. There's a lot of pressure. But him and Dzeko are extremely similar players. So I don't know if that would have worked together. Usually you get like a tall, big guy.
Try it.
Yeah, you don't think Di Francesco tried it in training?
I don't know.
On.
Either way, we spent a little time. Anyone else has anything to add? Otherwise, we'll go on to Lazio. Nothing? Talk about Lazio?
Yeah,
Lazio's freaking one of the best teams we got in Italy right now. Europa League, I mean, the fight that they showed this week, by the way, in Europa League.
Few teams would have done that.
Was incredible on Inzaghi's birthday, and Inzaghi's just proving every game. They were down in this match. They come back. I think they have so much fight. They've scored the most goals in the Serie A. They have the player who scored the most goals, Ciro Immobile, 27 goals on the league. They have the guy who has the most assists in the league, Luis Alberto, who's replaced Keita Balde incredibly. They can see it a lot. That's Lazio's problem. They concede a lot.
But they
of
outscore
goals.
all the times they concede, so it makes up for it. So they just got to get a couple with defenders, and they're going to be great.
But they're going to lose De Vrij, and then they got
That's
to
true,
sign
I know. They
some
got
very good
coming to
defenders.
Inter.
They got to.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you guys think? What do you think about Lazio? They got 2-1 over Udinese today.
I mean, I love watching Lazio. This year, not for nothing, I think they're top scoring team.
Number one.
Number one
over
team.
Juve by a goal.
76
I mean,
goals.
every game is entertaining. They give up a lot of goals, but that's also because the style of play. They're a free-flowing team, and eventually you're going to get scored on. Lazio now for a Champions League spot. They're there. If they win versus Roma, they can take the third spot, and we'll see what happens. Also, Europa League, it's a good push. It could also work to hurt them actually, because Europa League takes a lot of energy, and I was surprised they actually able to win this game.
Yeah.
Because they were losing 1-0.
Yeah.
They're able to come back, and when you spend a lot of energy on a Thursday to come play on a Sunday, a lot of teams don't do it. And
With a
that's
lot of
why-
the same players.
That's why a lot of Italian teams choose to not to play the Europa League.
Napoli.
But it goes to show, though. Look, it was pretty much the same exact lineup. They were down, both games, and they still came up. It just goes to show that Inzaghi is such a talented coach. He has some great players, and I really hope he gets a nice budget for the summer so he can get a real
This was a
squad.
huge weekend for Napoli. For Lazio, sorry. With Inter not picking up the points, Milan not picking up the points, a lot of crucial teams not picking up the points, and going in such a tough schedule. So I give a lot of respect to Lazio. I love what Lazio is doing. On the reverse, Oddo, who started out brilliantly at Udinese. I mean, I don't know how many games it's been in a row for Udinese. He was pissed off after the game. He was pissed off about VAR. I think he's taken a lot of his frustrations out from refereeing mistake, also to his team, who are not performing the same way that they were at one point. But nonetheless, for Lazio, huge win. And like you said about the Europa League, I'm just praying that Lazio, they could get to the Europa League final. If we could get 5 teams in the Champions League next season, that is the dream. That's the dream. And Lazio, while they do scare me as one of those teams like Udinese did, I don't know if you guys remember years ago, Udinese in the Champions League. You remember they were qualifying against
With
Arsenal?
Sanchez.
They lost.
And then they sell everybody, that summer. I don't think Lazio is going to go down that route. That's my only reservation with them. Milan Sassuolo. We didn't talk about Milan. We're avoiding the big talking point. But Milan Sassuolo, a game where Gattuso was so frustrated after the match. He said, we need to learn to have a bite in the final. He said the final 20 meters, it's like we're scared to score. And I know what you're going to say, who you're going to call out, Kessie, for what happened with the header. I mean, it does feel like that a little bit. And then when you have Cutrone, Kalinic, and Andre Silva, who he's definitely targeting as they need to be hungrier, which he's been saying over how long has he been saying it? Right?
Yeah. I pointed out before. I don't know what was he thinking. I mean, the only thing he had to do, Kessie, was just go with the head. The ball was in. So yeah, Gattuso was very upset. He thinks that. They fight. They're fighting in the middle. They improving every week, but when they get closer to the goal, they're not hungry, upset enough to score, and that's what he wants to see.
Which is true.
in the future games,
right?
No, for sure. I mean, Gattuso said it best. He said, "Listen, the quality of our players of the Milan team isn't the quality as it once was." But you still play with fight, and that's the type of player Gattuso was. So he didn't have the great technical ability, but he played every game.
He made up for
90 minutes. It didn't matter, what position he was. He ran around. He tried to do his job. So that's what I think Milan have to understand. You have to do your job. Everybody has to. If you're a striker, score the goals. But I also think there's a little bit of confusion with Gattuso's Milan, because he doesn't know who his striker is. Is it Cutrone? Is it Kalinic? Andre Silva? So, I don't know. As a player, or as a team, rather, do you feel that Gattuso doesn't know who his top striker is? Or is it good that you have competition? Maybe if anybody wants to answer that.
The thing is, it's a little bit of both. You got to think about it this way. This wasn't Gattuso's team. This was Montella's team, too. So he was thrown into it, and he has to put all the puzzles together. So it's very tough. And what he's done in a short amount of time is literally incredible. Very few coaches could have done it. So I feel like it was good that they gave him an actual contract, and they got to stick with him because I think he bleeds Milan 100%, and he's the future.
But the striker question.
It's tough because, like Peter said, there's just so many. And sometimes Cutrone is out in the game, sometimes he's not. You bring Andre Silva off the bench, he scores. Kalinic is hot and cold, so there's so many questions.
I have question marks over that too, based off who we brought in the derby too. I was very confused.
I mean, for a coach, it's always good to have more than one person at the position, so that there's the competition and that you want to. In this case, none of the three is really. Wants that position really bad that's scoring goals. So he's every Sunday he tries something different, but for the time it's not working out.
Yeah, and I think, like you're saying, it's good to have guys, 3 guys that you don't know, they're competitive, but you're not talking about Juventus who bring in Dybala, Bernardeschi, Higuain, Mandzukic. Talking about 3 that are not at that level. I think Cutrone obviously lacks experience. Andre Silva is still trying to figure it out, and Kalinic, I don't know. The goal he scored today was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
Well, are we being a little too harsh on Milan? Because, I mean, the past... Okay, maybe not today's game because you're versus Sassuolo, you should take points. But, you go into Torino versus Juventus, and then they play the derby.
yeah.
And even versus Juventus, they had a couple of chances to... I'm
They were
not
playing
saying to win the
toe-to-toe
game,
with
but
Juve.
exactly,
Yeah,
they
of
played.
course.
They were there. They were there. And even versus Inter, even though, I like to say that Inter didn't dominate, but they had the upper hand. Icardi misses the last minute goal.
Too
bad.
But that aside, Milan did have some chances.
Yeah.
Andanovic, who I love, makes great saves. Milan, they've been playing well. Even today's game, they had some chances. They just weren't able to finish. And that's what it all comes down to, finishing. And I think that's a mentality factor. That's what Juventus has. Juventus, the first chance they get, they score. They don't let that chance miss. Yeah,
exactly.
At least in Serie A.
Oh.
I'm saying it against myself.
There's a saying, but I don't know if it's...
What's the saying?
Well, what do they say about Juventus, right? In Serie A, in Italia, campioni, in Europa, coglioni.
Oh
so
my God.
We'll see. But at least we're in Europe, though.
Oh my God.
We're not watching from the couch. But
now.
anyway, I like your point about Gattuso because if you look at the stats, it hasn't been that long, but he does have the best average out of every coach since Allegri. Since Allegri took over, which is Brocchi, Inzaghi, Mihajlovic, Montella, and Seedorf, he's got the best record going into this at this point. So I think that Gattuso has done a lot with a little. Like Michael said, this is not his team. And that's the problem with Milan that we've been saying for so long. They keep a coach. They don't stick to a plan. They switch the coach. All the players that Montella wants, who knows if Gattuso wants them. So I think Gattuso's a perfect guy for this team. Like you said, as a player, he was always willing to squeeze out whatever he had. So he makes the best of what he's got right now. He still hasn't figured it out. But listen, I think Gattuso does deserve a lot of respect for what he's done. Politano, he's got 5 goals this season. Some of the goals have come against Milan, Juve,
Napoli.
help me out, Napoli, and then Spal and Benevento or something like that. Berardi was booed off the field. Nobody even remembers what happened to Berardi.
He went the next big thing, that guy. Oh my God.
He went from the best Italian talent to now Politano's even outshining him a little bit. Sassuolo have fallen a lot, but they are a tiny bit above that relegation zone. But let's go into what happened. The real drama. Talk about Benevento Juventus.
Oh my God, where do we start over here?
Mike, you start because I know you got a strong opinion on this. Yeah, and then I'll go back.
I'll start.
All right, you want to start?
You seem like no, for Juventus, they're coming from the Real game. It's very difficult to play the next game after you lose 3-0 and you're playing at home. It takes a lot out of you, and to just come in the field. Mentally, you need to be really, really tough. And you see what happens to the other teams when they play a European game, a Champions League game, and they lose in the next game. Most of the teams, the next game, they lose. If you look at the records in the past, you're coming from a European League game or you're coming from a Champions League game, the next game is very tough. And, Juventus, I think that you have said this many times. They only have one goal since January, and now against Benevento
They got two.
they got 2 goals. But the important thing is to win the game. So that was the most important thing, and they did. So they're allowing a lot of shots. Maybe the defense is a little bit shaky now, but the important thing is that they won the game.
This is another one of those games that we keep saying is written off, but even a team like Benevento still puts up a fight. No matter what, they come back into this game when you imagine that they have nothing, that this is Juventus, even though they come away from the Real Madrid, you could say, oh, after Champions League, but then there are the people who will reverse that and say, oh, look, they lost 3-0 to Real Madrid, so they're going to take out their anger on Benevento. And I think that's I like Marchisio starting, finally. Finally, Marchisio started a match. But I want to say what Del Piero said after this game. They talked a little bit, and they said the guys were criticizing Juventus. They said, and I'm gonna like what you said about Dybala when we were watching the highlights, and you said, why doesn't Dybala do that goal against Real Madrid, right? One of the guys said the same thing, and Del Piero was just saying that you need to take into perspective that Real Madrid are also done with their league. That for them, the league doesn't matter at all. So for Juventus, like you said, to come back and to play against Benevento, it's a challenge, And the space that you get against a team like Benevento is not the space that you get against a team like Real Madrid, who have top players everywhere.
So I was about to say, is one thing scoring against Benevento,
Yeah,
and another thing scoring Juventus.
Against Real Madrid.
I'm sorry.
No, 100%. But that's one of the things that this is a tough game. This is one of those games that you slip up and you're like, shit, this is the game like Spal. We screwed up, but at the end of the day, Juventus got the job done. And everyone's going to talk to us about controversy because it seems like anytime something remotely happens against Juventus,
it was more than remotely.
It's not more than remotely.
Benevento didn't look like a relegation side.
If we go through every game, you'll see things that were worse that happened to other teams, but no one will bring as big of an uphold. You want to talk about the situation?
I mean, I'll talk about it. There was Juventus got 2 penalties that
Yeah.
game, right?
Yep.
There was one question. One was most likely a penalty.
What do you mean most likely? You watched the replay. Yes or no?
It was
most likely. Is it a penalty? Yes or no?
The other one, the Higuain thing, I'm still fuzzy about. I really don't know if it hit his knee, if it was more of a dive, if it was a soft touch. And right after Douglas Costa scored an amazing goal, that only because they were up. But I feel like if they did not call that penalty, anything could have happened. I feel like Benevento could have even took a point out of the game.
And if Torino didn't finish their chance, anything
but
could
I
happen.
know, but I'm talking about
every single
Benevento
game.
was playing a very good game. They're really playing against Juventus. They got 2 goals. They equalized twice, and it was a great game.
First one definitely penalty with Pjanic. I don't think there's any questions about that. No maybes, yes. And the second one with Higuain, I'll be honest, there was contact, 100% needed knee contact. He did milk it. For sure. I mean, he threw his hands up like he got shot by a sniper and fell down a little bit. 100%. But like Peter was saying before, I mean, Higuain's cutting one way, the defender's standing this way, there's contact, it's a penalty. You see 2 penalties against Juventus, but when you look at the replay, Juventus were also taking away a goal with Mandzukic in the hand. Like, you got to look into perspective.
No,
anyone?
Doubt.
A few words about Benevento, because you said they scored 2 goals. They have a modern coach. They're not one of those teams that they close everybody in defense.
They
like to go forward. They like to attack. So I like to shout out to Benevento for playing
good.
They play good. They go forward. They want to score. And
they didn't have 11 players behind the ball. They're actually going for it, which was good for them.
But is that due to the fact that they're already out? Like, they don't have a chance of
they want to get scouted.
I mean, I understand. Like, De Zerbi is one of those coaches. He wants the players to play from the back. The goalkeeper also is a problem with the goalkeeper Brignoli, who was Wonder Boy versus Milan. But he lost his spot because he wasn't able to pass the ball.
That's true.
So I agree with Gaetano's idea of De Zerbi, but it also comes to a certain point. What if they had that chance to get out of relegation zone? Would they play as freely?
That's
true.
Well,
I think that's how they started, right?
Mm-hmm. And look how it went.
That's how they started the season. I mean, I think once the coach, it's the mentality of the coach and your tactics. You're not going to change the coach. The certain coach, they have their tactics, and that's how they play. So
Yeah. And then I think also the addition of Sandro and Sagna
Sanya, yeah, huge.
really made a big difference. And they even got rid of Cicciaretti.
Yeah, and they got rid of
Parma.
come on,
Who else?
who's with at Portland Timbers now?
Armenteros.
Armenteros. You know,
Armenteros.
for a team like Benevento, who's in last, and like you were saying too before, that in January they haven't been as bad as they were in the beginning, where they had 1 point.
Exactly.
No,
But Sandro just cleans up that midfield. He gets a lot of ball and he's able to distribute, which a player, the Benevento didn't have before. And then also Sagna, he's got that technical ability to put in a good cross. He played for Arsenal,
Exactly.
Manchester City. So these are guys of a certain quality that Benevento.
They're getting more chances too.
Exactly.
They're getting more goals. You can see they beat Ellis Verona 3-0 the other
Yeah.
day. That's incredible.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah,
on the penalty, talk about the penalty.
yeah, I want to talk about the penalty because just to explain that, I heard what the referee was saying. Why didn't they go when it was Higuain? It was a penalty, but they didn't go to the VAR. On Pjanic,
They
it was a
went to the VAR.
penalty. The referee didn't call and they go to the VAR. So they was trying to explain why. The penalty for Higuain, the referee was right there. He saw what happened. He knew it was a penalty. There is no question. There's no need to go to the VAR. So whatever happened in the field, it stays. It's the decision of the field. What happened with Pjanic is he went inside and the defender went for the ball, but he didn't get the ball. He got him. And the referee was not very clear. He didn't see the whole thing. So once the player started complaining that maybe something else was there, then he decided, okay, I'm going to go. It's very complicated.
It
this
doesn't
VAR.
make sense.
It's very complicated. So if sometimes if you don't understand everything that I'm saying, it's difficult for me to understand.
Me
and
too.
I heard the referee explaining.
You're talking about Rocky, who's the head of the referees.
Right, and he was explaining, and that's what he said. If it is clear, and the referee knows, he has no doubt, there's no reason to go to the VAR. But in the case of Pjanic, that maybe instead of getting the ball, he got his legs. Maybe needed to see it again.
But
And
to
that's
rebuttal
why-
that,
and then that's why he went to see the VAR.
to rebuttal that, he also, the first second that Pjanic went down, he said like this. He said no.
Right.
But then he looks back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Peter,
The
I'm going to
thing
ask
is-
you your stance on the VAR too, because we've all given our perspective. And to me, hearing Rocky, because I saw the same interview that you heard, he made me even more confused about the entire system.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think
it's very difficult.
Del Piero doesn't understand
Right.
it. The commentators don't understand. The players don't. No one understands the rule.
But
It's so interpreted.
The thing with VAR, it's not a yes or no. It's either maybe, it could be, and at the end of the day, it's a decision of the ref. So it's not a clear yes or no.
Peter.
At the end of the day, that's
Well,
what it is.
First off, this is a side comment. I would say, is that the Italian culture where there's always that if? but
No,
you
it's
don't think so?
no. He said
It's
it's
just
a-
the VAR?
He did say that. He did say that.
international
Okay,
protocol.
so the international
because
protocol.
as they go forward, I think in the World Cup, so
They're
they
gonna
have to
just-
go by international
Okay.
protocol.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one thing.
So, I mean, I think my understanding is that it's at the referee's discretion. So, if they believe that they saw something and nobody is calling in their ear to say, oh, look at this again, then referee can choose not to listen to the VAR and say, no, I saw it, I'm going to call it.
Right.
It's when there's a doubt that he could ask for the assistance or the VAR,
The
turns
silent
in and
check.
says, look at this again. And then I think personally, if there's a suitable referee, because there's a referee assigned to the VAR, right?
Yeah.
For every game, the referee doesn't have to go and watch, But I don't want to take away from the referee because every referee, sees the game in a different way. Some players, some refs like to, play the advantage. Some refs want to call every foul. So each game is different and each referee refs differently. So you don't want to take away from that ref's ability to call the game. There's going to be the human error like there always is. But, I mean, as long as VAR is there to, to make the right decision or even to be able to have that review ability, look at the Inter versus Milan, Milan versus Inter, rather.
They got the Icardi.
The Icardi goal.
Yeah. It was offsides.
It was offsides, but it was
By
by
a toenail.
But listen,
Exactly.
the rules say
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
You know, whatever's able
Offsides
to
is
score,
offsides, yeah,
it's
of
offsides,
course.
and that's how it should be.
Imagine if the VAR was in Champions League. I mean, Roma were
Oh,
taken
yeah.
away.
Penalty.
I'm not even going to say 2. I'll say 1 just to be fair. A penalty that wasn't given.
Well, it is a little bit easier for them for the offside because
That's easier,
they draw
yeah.
the line, you know, and they can see if the foot was in and out.
Yeah.
A little bit more difficult with the penalties because sometimes, you know, there was somebody that stops the ball and he stops the
Fazio.
ball here, then he goes here,
Yep.
and there was somebody says, "Oh, that's a penalty," but he first hit it here and then he rolled it here. So with the penalty is a little bit more difficult. It's even more difficult with the handballs, and they trying to explain the
So
handballs. So if you're taking a shot, let's say you're on the wall and somebody's taking a shot, you know the guy's taking a shot, you're on the wall, you need to be like this. So if you go like this and he hits you here, it's a penalty. I mean that is
That's okay.
that's
yeah,
okay.
okay. We got that.
If you don't know that the guy's taking a shot, okay, let's say the guy's crossing the and you're turning and the guy crosses the ball, you don't even know that he took a shot or that he crossed, and he hits the hand involuntary, you know, there was no intention. That's a little bit more difficult. If the hand is wide, they're probably going to call it. He said, we don't need you to be like this. A defender cannot be like this. But if you are like this, it's not a penalty. So there was, I think, one today.
Iago Falca.
Yeah,
You're talking about. It wasn't today.
I
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
where the ball, you know, hit him. He was like this. The guy crossed and he hit his hand. It was not a penalty. There was no intention. The guy didn't even know that he was going to cross. Sometimes you turn around. So it's a little bit more difficult to determine because you have to determine if there was intention, if he meant for it.
Yeah.
It's the most confusing thing.
Yeah.
But also, VAR gives the referee the possibility
An
to,
extra chance, yeah.
but besides making an extra chance, to make the call, not be afraid to make the call. You know, that's what I like about it. You know how many times that they wouldn't call a penalty against big teams. You know, I would say Juventus, Inter, Milan. They wouldn't want to call the penalty, and you can see it. You know, and now they'll call it because they know that if they make a mistake, they can go to VAR. I think you can probably check statistics. There's been more penalties this year than
probably.
100%.
Yeah, I think
Then
there is.
But then there's also more controversy too, because they're even with VAR, they're still getting some stupid calls wrong.
I love the
it's
VAR.
not 100%.
I love the VAR,
Yeah.
but I think that we make it a little bit more complicated than the VAR needs to be.
That's true.
I'm with you, and I know we've all talked about this for a long time since the VAR started. It should not be this referee, to me, to go and run over and have to check.
Yeah, it wastes time.
If we're gonna use the technology, let's just use
Do
it.
it
I feel
correctly.
like we're a little bit, we're in and we're out. We want to use it, but we don't really want to use it. And I get not wanting to make them robots, but at the same sense, make a guy who's qualified, a referee who's gonna delegate the game. He's on the sideline. He checks every call. If he sees that Higuain's was a penalty, he's gonna get the replay. He sees you don't have to stop for so long. This guy's got to stop. He's got to go. He's got to do the little gesture. He's got to run over. You got to run back. And then sometimes he doesn't want to go look at the VAR. We've seen times where Lazio have been screwed. How many times? Because the guy didn't go just check the VAR. Might as well just get that guy in the sideline. He checks. Everybody keeps playing. And then we eliminate the controversy as much. Then if you want to keep complaining after that, listen, it's not going to be perfect. It's not 100%. So it's good. It's great. And I think that we've seen the mistakes that have been in the Champions League, why VAR needs to be included in it. But I think that we make it very complicated. Your handball. This guy's like, first thing we need to do, see if it's involuntary. Second thing, see the extent to where his arm is. And we're looking, and then Del Piero argued, you saw what Del Piero said. Del Piero says, as players, as athletes, you also need to have balance. He goes, they looked at Iago Falca, who had his arm like this, right? And they said, and they're like, look how far his arm is. And Del Piero says, but when I'm taking a shot, he goes, if my foot goes up one way, he goes, I need to put my arm out to have balance. He said, we can't stand like this. And
they understand that. I think that they understand that, but it's going to take. This is the first year. It's going to take a while. You know, they're learning from it. The countries that don't have it, I think now they are calling the Italian referees and they're asking a lot of questions. And when the Italian referees go and ref away from Italy, they're all approaching them about this VAR. So there's there's a lot of interest from the other countries about the VAR. But it's going to take time to make it to make the right call. But the most important thing is at the end you make the right call. And most of the calls it takes 30 to 35 seconds, to make a decision. But I think the average is a minute. I think that's it. The average is about a minute.
But they can even eliminate that.
The time doesn't bother me as much.
As long as they get the right decision at the end, whether it takes 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Sometimes I feel like they rush it. I feel like they go there and they get nervous that they're wasting so much time.
And then there was another case that they looked at. It was Kolarov.
Yeah.
So that there was a cross, and Kolarov went up like to scissor kick, and the ball hit Mia and it stopped from going to one of the players. And because the referee was behind, he didn't see it. So the game kept going. The game kept going for about 30, 40 seconds. And then they stopped it. So what happens if Roma would have gone up and scored a goal?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So they need a little bit to polish a little bit.
I think it's never going to be perfected, to tell you the truth. There's going to be human error. The whole thing that I wish, and I think it to a certain extent has been able to give the referees the opportunity to make the call and not be afraid to make the call.
Have more confidence.
And that's it.
And
that's what I think it's going to happen. We can try to perfect it, but it's never going to be perfect. Because at the end of the day, also a lot of people that are against VAR want that human element.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with. But I think at the end of the day, if we're going to have refs, they're going to make mistakes now and then. Because then at that point, you can say, every foul then should be reviewed. Yeah. Because that can make a difference in a game, you know?
As long as they minimize it every single year, I don't think people should have that much to complain about, to be honest.
I think people need to be a little bit more open. I think everyone needs to put themselves in someone else's shoes, because we look at centimeters. I mean, we looked at the replay of Higuain's 19 times between us.
And we're still
and look, there's 4 of us, 3 of us agree, and 1 still doesn't agree. You're always going to have this. Everyone needs to put themselves in someone else's shoes.
What the point was at the end is it's got to be clear. If it is clear that there was a mistake, then you call it. I mean, if it's not clear, then just leave whatever the field, whatever the field, the call on the field was. You leave that call.
It's still overall, I think it definitely has more positives than negatives. Anyway, anyone else have anything to add? Good round. A lot of drama.
We talked about everything?
Yeah, I think we had everything.
Wow, we got everything, huh?
Yeah, still more drama. We had Peter. Finally, we had an Inter fan. I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that one. Peter's also rocking the shirts that are about to drop. Anyone who ordered our original shirts, who you calling? You calling Gattuso? Anyone who ordered our original shirts, you're going to get 24 to 48 hours before to buy the new colors that are getting released this weekend. Last time they sold out in literally 2 days, so it's not going to be that many. But if you want one, get it quick.
We'll have the link in the
What happened? Gattuso's not answering?
No, he's not answering. He must be on vacation in California.
This guy calls me. Antonio calls me. Halftime of the Milan game. No, a little bit after halftime when the second half started. He goes, Marco, Still Milan can't score. I was like, yeah, I know, Antonio. Don't worry. He goes, don't worry. Call me back in 5 minutes. I guarantee you Cutrone is going to have a goal.
That's it.
Okay. We are almost done with the podcast. For the people that are missing Antonio, here's Antonio live from California.
What's up, Antonio?
Hey, what's up? In the sky, the ceiling.
Put him to the... Where are you?
What are you doing? What'd you think about Milan?
Yo, I'm giving you a shot of San Diego right now. Can you see it?
I don't give a shit about the shot. Talk to me about Milan. You got 20 seconds.
All right, guys. So what's going on?
What's up? What'd you think about Milan? They can't beat Sassuolo. What happened to Cutrone scoring? You told me in 5 minutes Cutrone was gonna score.
Listen, you breaking up. I didn't hear a word of what you said.
Just tell him he has to rate the podcast.
That's what Cutrone missed.
Tell them that they gotta rate the podcast. That's it.
Marco.
Oh
Rate the podcast.
You're a mess.
What did I tell you have to say live? Go ahead, say it.
Rate the podcast, guys.
Grande Anto!
Okay, Anto. We'll see you in a few days.
All right, goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. I
You got a
his
nice
dog-
little
I
tan,
hope his
huh?
dog is still okay by the time we get back.
Marco was supposed to watch his dog. It's been 5 days.
I told today, I said, Antonio, have I been supposed to check again on the dog? He goes, no, don't worry. I think somebody else is doing it for now. I was like, okay,
We
thank
would have
God.
ran to his house.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Rate the podcast, like Antonio said. Subscribe for more, and we got Champions League this week, so let's pray for a miracle.
Yes,
Keep your
let's
fingers
hope.
crossed, guys. Can it happen? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Oh my God.
Very,
So tough.
anything can happen in soccer.
Lazio is going through either one of Milan, either one of Roma or one of Juve are going. I don't know which team. Yeah.
Going
One's
through.
going
One
through.
of- yeah, I
Shit.
think one of them going through.
Listen, let's
I
hope.
feel something.
Guys, comment down below your thoughts. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao,
Ciao,
ragazzi.
guys.
Ciao.
Beautiful.